Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new playthrough on a map called NF Marsch. It's a very popular map in Europe. Don't see it on YouTube very much, at least not English language videos. So I thought I'd give it a play. We're going to do a playthrough. I'm in new farmer mode. I've changed up the starting farm some, so if you're familiar with this map, you'll see that it's not exactly the same as the starting farm normally is. I bought some things, I sold some things, I moved some things around, but I don't have a whole lot more than you would have in a normal start of a playthrough. So I think it's pretty much the same as it would be in new farmer mode. So let me show you what I got. Here is our house. This is where we live. And this is our farm. We have some equipment. We have a loading wagon. It has some pretty unrealistic windrows on it, but we're going to be doing a lot with grass. If I feel like it's way too unrealistic, we'll take them off. But this is my favorite loading wagon, and if you're dealing with a lot of grass, this is the most efficient way to do it. It's a little bit fast farming, but again, this is a playthrough. It's a let's play, not a survival challenge. There's really no rules here except that I want to have some fun. So we got a fertilizer spreader and a sprayer. We have a grain trailer, seeder. We have a Klaas Axion 800. We have a swather. We have a harvester. We have a Klaas Axion or Arion 630. We got our header for the swather. We got a grain header over here. We have a sheep barn because on a map with a lot of grass, sheep seem to be the way to go. So we're going to be doing a lot of sheep. We're going to be making clothes. We have our silage silo. This is going to probably be valuable in the beginning of the game. We may dispense with it later on because we're probably not going to need a whole lot of silage. But, you know, if you have grass and you have no sheep yet, silage may be a real good way to make some money at the beginning of the game. And we have a silo over here. And that's pretty much it. I'll show you the map. This is us right there. That's what we own. These little fields right here. And they're not worth a whole lot. 130, 108, 197. So, you know, there's not a whole lot of monetary value there, especially when you consider that the field next door is worth $492,000. And this one over here is worth $655, and this one over here is worth $626. So if we want to buy some of these fields around us, we're going to have to raise some pretty serious cash. And that's why I'm going with sheep and clothes. There's just a lot of grass on the map, so that seems to be the way to go. This field up here is 304, and it's a grass field. This may be something we go for pretty early in our playthrough, just so we have extra grass. But right now, one of our fields is planted in one of these different crops that the map has. These are hops. You can grow hops on any map in a production, but on this map, you can just grow a field of hops. And if I remember correctly from Farm Simulator 19, hops are worth quite a bit. So we're going to harvest our hops, but in order to do that, we need a corn header, and we don't own a corn header, so I'm going to lease one. And I'm going to hop in the harvester here. Fortunately for us, this is the side of the starting farm when you start a new farmer. I just sold some sheds and sold the original silo, sold some of the original gear, and rearrange some things. But the original farm, fortunately, is very, very close. That's the vehicle shop right there. So That's a handy thing to have. Traffic on this map is not very aggressive, if I remember correctly, and there's not just a whole lot of it. It's pretty sporadic, which is nice. I like some traffic because it gives you, you know, that sense that you're not all by yourself on the map. But at the same time, I don't like it when the traffic keeps you from doing what you need to do, or just makes your life infinitely harder. All right, so I'm going to lease a corn header. See if there's one in the sale. I don't think there is. Nope, not one in the sale. I don't really want to buy one anyway because I don't know. We'll see how much we make off the hops. We may just want to keep planting hops. That one's only 3.4 meters wide. I think we need something a little bigger. But I sure would like something cheaper. Hey, that one's cheaper. And it's 6 meters wide. I think that's a good compromise. We will lease that for $1,619. And it's going to be kind of ugly because it's red. I didn't change it to yellow or black or anything like that. All right, I'll meet you guys back over there and we'll harvest some hops. All right, we are ready to go on this hops field. The first time I played this map, this was also a hops field. I think it is every time. But it took me a while to figure out how to harvest it. So if you encounter a hops field, it's a regular harvester, but a corn header. Oops, gotta unfold the tool. Not that tool. That tool. I think probably I'm the tool. All right, here we go. Yeah, in the other version of the map, there would be a canal down the right side of this field and across the back side of it. And wow, does that make things hard. Workers will consistently put your equipment in the canal. No, it makes for a very challenging playthrough. So if that's what you're looking for, the other version of this map does exist. So if you want to play with the canals, you go right ahead. And if I remember correctly from my other playthrough, hops surprised me by the amount that we made from them. So we'll hang on to the hops until the right month. Because we're trying to make as much money as possible here quickly. We need to get our sheep filled up. Excuse me. We're not going to get our sheep filled up because that sheep barn holds 1,500 sheep. So we're probably going to put about 300 in there. And then we'll put more in as we can, and the sheep will breed and grow more sheep. So we'll have 1,500 before too long. We are playing with seasons off. We are playing with crop destruction off. Actually, we're playing with pretty much everything off. No crop destruction, no weeds, no No field stone, no periodic plowing. We're on easy economy. Just gonna have a pleasant playthrough on NF Marsch. This is a really nice map. It's a 4X map, so it's big. Aldi has some of the best prices on the map, but it's very far from here. So we'll get a chance to drive across the map at some point. And there is also a production pack, a mod pack that I didn't install yet. So at some point in the near future, I'll install all of the special mods for this map, so that we can experience some new things. We already kind of are harvesting a hop field. That's not something you do on every map. And there are carrots and onions and cabbage, and I want to say peas. There are lots of different crops on this map. So we'll get a chance to experience some new crops, some new harvesters. It's going to be fun. But first, let's get these hops done. Well, I lost the last part of the harvest of the hops field. I'll quote my favorite Windows error message, "Something happened." And we'll just leave it at that. But I tried to plant it in hops again, because I went through all the crops and hops seems to be one of the most profitable things we can grow. And I tried to use our direct seeder to replant this in hops, and that didn't happen. So we're going to give it a plow. And then we'll replant it in hops. Huh. Okay. Now it says this is a field. It has a number and everything. No matter. If it wasn't a field before, it's going to be a field now. Well, I might as well make it a little bigger. Long as I'm here. Okay, now we've got it all plowed. We're going to plant it in hops. I was wondering why I couldn't hire a worker to harvest those hops. It seemed like this was an actual field. It has a number. I'm still not sure why it isn't, but we'll see if we can hire a worker now. Yep, sure can. I may not go back and plant that strip I just missed. I may go ahead and put grass in there and even up this edge a little bit. But I think our worker has enough room to turn around. So I don't feel like I need to do a header. I'm going to keep an eye on him though, make sure he doesn't plant hops in our grass field. So I think the plan is going to be to wait until January to sell these hops. Hopefully the hops we're planting right now will be ready and harvested before January so we can sell a double batch, which would be somewhere around $200,000. And then we're also going to cut this grass. We should get 2 cuttings of it before the hops are ready to sell. So my hope is that we'll have 1 cutting that we can turn into silage and sell that also in January, because that's usually the best time to sell silage. And then we'll save the second cutting of grass to feed to our sheep, because after we sell hops and silage, we should have plenty of money to put, I don't know, 300 sheep, maybe 500 sheep in our barn. That would be a good thing. And then as soon as we get sheep in the barn, we can start making wool and saving our money again so that we can buy a spinnery. There's a mod I like to use that's a combination spinnery and clothing factory. So that's the one we're gonna place, but that's about $120,000. So we're gonna need to save money for sheep first, then we'll save money for the spinnery, tailor shop, combination, and then I think the money will start rolling in pretty easily, and we can look at buying one of the fields on either side of us. Well, that's the hops field planted. And I think that's going to do it for today. This is going to be a fun map. There's a whole lot of things we're going to get to experience that we've never done before. That field right there that we're looking at, that massive field right there, that's a lavender field. And I think I'm going to look and see if there's going to be a contract to harvest that field. I think that would be cool to harvest the lavender, and if there's any left over, it brings a very good price. That is a carrot field over there, so I think harvesting carrots is going to be something like harvesting potatoes or sugar beets, but I don't know. So hopefully we'll get some contracts on some of these different crops and have some new experiences. There's a ton of new productions here that we haven't done before. So I'm really looking forward to playing this map. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, I sure would appreciate a thumbs up or a subscription. If you didn't care for this episode, well, post a comment and tell me why. Either way, thanks so much for being here. I'll see you next time.